Hello, I'm Wendy Buchan. I'm a professor at California State University, Sacramento. I've been teaching nutrition there for over the past 20 years, and I use the textbook Nutrition for a Changing World. And I have been using the Achieve website platform for my courses and integrating it into our LMS Canvas. So one of the things I wanted to introduce today was the Analyze My Diet Tracker tool and assignments. And so in the Achieve website, you'll see there are many things that are available for faculty and students to utilize. And one of them is this Analyze My Diet Tracker. And so if we go to the Analyze My Diet Tracker, there is a user guide and a tutorial, and then the program itself. And the program itself works really, really well in that once you enter in your profile, which I've entered in my profile, including my age, gender, and height and weight, it assigns me what my estimated nutritional needs are based on the dietary reference intakes. And so once I've saved my profile, then I can enter in all the food and drink that I had for one or more days. And so by entering in the foods that I ate and drank for one full day or many days, then I can compare that to my estimated needs and get information and feedback that allows me to help apply what I'm learning in the class to myself. And so I entered in my day intake or a sample day intake already, but to show you how that works is you just enter the description of the food. The more descriptive you are, the less food items that you'll see when you do the search. So for example, if I put milk 1% fat, then it's going to give me a shorter list of foods. It's going to give me all the foods that say milk 1% fat. But if I just type milk, I'm going to get an even longer list of foods because I'm going to get every single food that has the word milk in it. And so that's going to give me a much longer list of foods to look at. And so if I had 1% milk, for example, I would select the matching food to what I consumed and I would add it to my list of foods for the day. Once I've added it, I can change the amount that I consumed by changing the serving size and the number of servings. Or I can even delete the food if I want to remove it, or I realize I made a mistake or didn't choose the correct food. And so once I've entered in all the foods that I've eaten, then I can go to different reports. And these reports are going to compare my intake to my recommendations or targets. And so based on my profile, it gave me recommendations of how much of the different nutrients I should consume each day. And then it will compare that to my calorie intake for what I entered. It will give me a nice bar graph that shows me what my intake was compared to what my target or recommendations would be. And it compares my intake for the different food groups in my plate. In addition to that, in Achieve, if we go to the different units or chapters, some of them have assignments that allow me to use my analyzed diet and answer questions to apply my intake to the foods and the foods that I ate to what I'm learning in the class. So for example, in chapter 2, there's an Analyze My Diet Food Groups assignment. And so if I look at that assignment, it tells me what the learning objectives are, and it tells me how to complete this by doing my Analyze My Diet and analyzing it like we did in the Analyze My Diet tool. And then I'm able to input my data compared to my target. So I filled these in already. They were blank to begin with, but I went to my different reports. And so this one says to use my calorie assessment. So I went to that and I found out what my calorie goal was compared to my intake. And I filled in those numbers here. So you can edit them and then you can submit them. So I entered in my calories from the calorie assessment report. And then I went to my plate report and I entered in my intake for the different food groups. And I did them for all of them but protein, just so that you could see how this works. So I filled up the beginning ones, but if I go to my protein foods, my target, if I look at the report, my target is 6 ounces. So it compares my target to my actual intake. So my target was 6 ounces and my actual intake was 2.5 ounces. And so I can put right here that my target was 6 ounces and that I consumed 2.5 ounces. And that then allows me to think about what my target versus my intake is. And then it goes on to ask you questions to help you understand and apply this information to yourself. And so it's asking me now based on my protein foods, because I filled in the other questions earlier just so that I could save time. You can see here that it says for my protein foods, was I on or over my target? And you can see that I wasn't. I was under my target. But so I say, was I on or over? And I say yes. Well, it's going to automatically grade that and give me feedback and say yes. Well, that's incorrect. Try it again. And I can click on solve if I need more assistance or more information. But the truth is that I wasn't on or over my goal. And so it helps me to think about whether or not I was eating enough protein foods. I also didn't do the calorie one yet. And so I can go back and look at my target versus my intake. And was I on or over? And so no, I wasn't. And so then I submit that. And it automatically grades it and gives me feedback along the way, which is very helpful for allowing the student to learn the material. And so you can see when I got it wrong, it lowered the percentage that I got correct because it had to help me. But it's auto graded, so it gives the students immediate feedback to help them both apply and understand the material as they go through. And so that's a brief introduction to the Analyze My Diet activity that you can find in Achieve.